Gauranita Jaya, Gauranita, Gauranita Jaya, Gaudiya Godhune Nitya, Nanda Mahaja, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam class and attentive japa this morning. Thank you all for joining. We'll make a start now with a quick prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So this morning we are talking about Gajendra, the mighty Gajendra elephant, and his prayers of surrender to the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the story goes, or the pastime goes this way, that in a valley of Trikut there is a nice garden named Ritumat, which was constructed by Varun. And in that area there is a very nice lake, and once the chief of the elephants along with the female elephants went to enjoy bathing in that lake, and just happens that they disturbed the inhabitants of the water, and because of this the chief crocodile in that water, who was very powerful as well, immediately attacked the elephant's leg, so Gajendra's leg. Thus there ensued a great fight between the elephant and the crocodile, and this fight continued for 1000 years, as is mentioned. So neither the elephant nor the crocodile died, but since they were in the water, the elephant gradually became weak, whereas the power of the crocodile increased more and more, because that's the crocodile is stronger in water, whereas the elephant will be stronger on land. It's more dominating. Thus the crocodile became more and more encouraged. Then the elephant, being helpless and seeing that there was no other way for his protection, sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, happens to us that everyone in the material world is engaged in a struggle for existence. Everyone tries to save himself from danger, but when one is unable to save himself, if he is pious, he then takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada is mentioning the verse in Bhagavad-Gita 7.16, Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritano arjuna arto jigyasu artharthi jnani sa bharat shaba. So we know that verse, which four kinds of pious men, namely one who is in danger, one who is in need of money, one who is searching for knowledge, and one who is inquisitive, begin to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to be saved or to advance. It is not that only Gajendra, the king of elephants, was afraid of death. Everyone should fear death, because everyone is caught by the crocodile of eternal time and may die at any moment. The best course, therefore, is to seek shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and be saved from the struggle for existence in this material world, in which one repeatedly takes birth and dies. To reach this understanding is the ultimate goal of life. Excuse me. So we're not afraid of dying. We are afraid that we might miss the opportunity that we were given in the human life, that we might die any moment, and we didn't take that opportunity that we were given. That's what we should be afraid of, that don't miss the opportunity. So thereafter the king of the elephants, Gajendra, fixed his mind in his heart with perfect intelligence and chanted a mantra which he had learned in his previous life birth as King Indradyumna, and which he remembered by the grace of Krishna. So such remembrance is described in Bhagavad-Gita 6.43 to 44. shloka. In these two verses, it is assured that even if a person engaged in devotional service falls down, he is not degraded, but is placed in a position in which he will, in due course of time, remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly, so that even though he may be imperfect in spiritual consciousness in this life, it's very easy, Maya is very strong. In his next life, he'll not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. And we've seen examples of Bharat Maharaj and now Gajendra as well. Of course, a devotee should try to perfect his Krishna consciousness in this life. That should be a priority. But that's like plan B, just in case it doesn't happen. For simply by understanding Krishna and his instructions, after giving up this body, one can return home back to Godhead. So this is now I'm going to just tell you about what mantra Gajendra was reciting. It's called the Gajendra Moksha Stotra. And it's actually 28 verses. It's in 28 verses, but we can't go through the 28 verses because lack of time. So I think we'll just go through about 10 of them. You get the idea. And if you want to read the rest of them, it's Canto 8.2 to 29, or 28 verses are there you can read. So 28 shlokas. 10 are, the first one is, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person, Vasudev, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, because material body by itself is just dead material, dead matter, and is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. So Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are Ishvara's great controllers, but Lord Vishnu is Paramishvara, the supreme controller. Then he says, the supreme Godhead is the supreme platform on which everything rests, the ingredient by which everything has been produced, and the person who has created and is the only cause of the cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, he is different from the cause and the result. I surrender unto him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is self-sufficient in everything. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. And the Lord is a cause for everything, but there is no cause for him. Although he is everything, his personality is different from the cosmic manifestation. So this is what he's saying here. And then he says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding his own energy, keeps his cosmic manifestation visible, and again sometimes renders it invisible. He is both the supreme cause and the supreme result, the observer and the witness in all circumstances. Thus he is transcendental to everything. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has multi-potencies, multi-energies, as you know. Therefore, as soon as he likes, he uses one of his potencies, and by that expansion he creates this cosmic manifestation. Again, when the cosmic manifestation is annihilated, it rests back into him, into Mahavishnu. Nonetheless, he is infallibly the supreme observer. Under any circumstances, the Supreme Lord is changeless. He is simply a witness and is aloof from all creation and annihilation. So he is aloof because all the energies, he appoints all his energies to do everything. He doesn't get personally involved in this creation and annihilation. And then he says, in due course of time, when all the causative and effective manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness, and above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of his lotus feet. So we find that in our daily experience, when we on earth are in the darkness of night, the sun is always luminous somewhere in the sky. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Sun always remains luminous even when the entire cosmic manifestation is annihilated in due course of time. So although there's no life here, that doesn't mean there's no life in the spiritual world. That continues eternally. Then he says, an artist on stage being covered by attractive dresses and dancing with different movements is not understood by his audience. Similarly, the activities and features of the supreme artist cannot be understood even by the demigods or great sages, and certainly not by those who are unintelligent like animals. So people with animal mentality. Neither the demigods and the sages nor the unintelligent can understand the features of the Lord, nor can they express in words his actual position. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. If by the Lord's grace one can understand him, one will immediately be delivered even within his material body. The material body will no longer have any function, and whatever activities take place with the body will be activities of Krishna consciousness. In this way, one may give up his body and return back home, back to Godhead. So this body can be spiritualized right here, this material body. When you're doing spiritual activities, everything becomes spiritual. And then he says, renunciants and great sages who see all living beings equally, who are friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice in the forest the vows of brahmacharya, vanaprastha and sannyas, desire to see the all auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. So devotees are always equal to everyone, seeing no distinction between lower and higher classes, Pandita, Samdarshana. They look upon everyone as spirit soul, who is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Thus they are competent to search for Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must take shelter of such a devotee in order to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he says, the Supreme Personality of God has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults. To fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed, he comes in the form of a human being like Lord Ram or Lord Krishna by his original internal potency. He has immense potency and in various forms, all free from material contamination. So it's Nirgun. He acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to him. So when the Lord comes, he does so on the basis of his spiritual potency, because he is not forced to come by the material energy. He is always transcendental, whereas we are forced by the material energy to take birth in various forms, and then we are illusioned by the material energy. He is always transcendental. One shouldn't consider the Supreme Lord an ordinary human being. Material names and forms are contaminated, but spiritual name and spiritual form are transcendental. Then he goes on to say, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self-effulgent Supersoul, who is a witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul, and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. So that's the speculators, the Gyanis, they're referring to that. The Lord is like the sun, which illuminates everything and cannot be illuminated by anyone. Enlightenment from him, as instructed in Bhagavad-Gita, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's mental, physical, intellectual powers. So we don't have the facility to understand him. We have to take the shelter of the devotees and the Shastras. Then Gajendra says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. So, as stated in Bhagavad-Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood only by devotional service, not by speculation. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yaman yaschasmi tatpataha. If one wants to know these activities are called, if one wants to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the truth, one must take to the activities of devotional service. So these activities are called sattva or shuddha sattva. In the material world, activities of goodness, which are symptomatic of pure Brahman, are appreciated. But the activities of devotional service are shuddha sattva. In other words, they are on the transcendental platform, and only by devotional service can one understand the Supreme. So these are the 10 verses that Gajendra recited 28, but these 10 of them, excuse me. So, after understanding the awkward condition of Gajendra, who had offered his moksha stotra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who lives everywhere, appeared with the demigods, who were offering prayers to him. Carrying his disc and other weapons, he appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda, with great speed, according to his desire. Thus he appeared before Gajendra. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur hints that since Gajendra was in such a difficult position and was praying for the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods, who could have immediately gone to his rescue, hesitated to go there because he didn't ask for them, he asked for the Lord. And since they considered Gajendra's prayer to be directed towards the Lord, they felt offended actually. And this in itself was offensive it was offense for thinking like that for demigods. So consequently, when the Lord went there, they also went and offered praise to the Lord so that the offense might be excused. So even demigods can feel like that, left out, or feel some envy, but they're very quick to get the offense neutralized and ask for forgiveness. So Gajendra had been forcefully captured by this crocodile in the water and was feeling acute pain, but when he saw that Narayan, wielding his disc, was coming in the sky on the back of Garuda, he immediately took a lotus flower in his trunk, and as we seen in the photos, and with great difficulty due to his painful condition, he uttered the following words: "O my Lord Narayan, Master of the universe, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you." The king of the elephants was so very eager to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead that when he saw the Lord coming in the sky, with great pain and in a feeble voice, he offered respect to the Lord. And when a devotee is in great danger, he sees that danger to be the great mercy of the Lord, because it is an opportunity to think of the Lord very sincerely and with undiverted attention. Because that's when we are in trouble, our focus is completely on God to save us, give us protection. Nothing else seems to matter at that time. So he doesn't accuse the Supreme Personality of Godhead for having let his devotee fall down into such danger conditions. Rather, he considers that dangerous condition to be due to his past misdeeds and takes it as an opportunity to pray to the Lord and offer thanks for having been given such an opportunity. So when a devotee lives in this way, his salvation is going back home, back to God, and is guaranteed, says Srila Prabhupada, if you have that kind of mentality. We can see this to be true from the example of Gajendra, who anxiously prayed to the Lord and thus received an immediate chance to return home, back to Godhead. So, thereafter, seeing Gajendra in such an aggrieved position, the unborn Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, immediately got down from the back of Garuda and by his causeless mercy and pulled the king of the elephants along with the crocodile out of the water. And then in presence of all the demigods who were looking on, the Lord severed the crocodile's mouth from its body with his disc. In this way he saved Gajendra, the king of the elephants. And so that was the pastime of Gajendra. Actually, they both got mercy, the crocodile and Gajendra himself. So there you go. So that was the opportunity for Gajendra. to go back to home. It was all arranged, obviously, for him to go back. But I mean, what can we learn from this? That is the question. What do we learn from this that we may help us? And first of all, I want to just thank you all. Um, Prem Prakash Prabhu, Chetana Mataji, Rukmini Mataji, I think Natayachan Prabhu, Jay Prabhu, Kushali Mataji, Partha Prabhu, Parveen Mataji, and Sarveshya Mataji, and of course Radha Rani Ratirpada, who's sitting next to me. Thank you all for joining this morning, and let's have a quick discussion, see what we can extract or add from this, and get some realizations. It's a very interesting pastime. So, who would like to make a start this morning? Partha Prabhu would like to say something? Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Jai Prabhu.
Jai Prabhu. Um, Very nice points. Like the plan B is really nice, though we're not aiming for plan B, but plan B is very nice. So another point which I really admire is like why we need to chant continuously is because our death, we are not sure at what point we'll get our death. So be ready to face any moment. So we have to keep chanting. Um, one story I was listening yesterday, Prabhu, like when you mentioned about being equal to everyone, and on that, like the Prahlad Maharaj's son Virochana,
Yeah.
he was having a discussion with the sage, his sage's son, and he was discussing with him that who is great among them, whether he is great or sage's son is great. So they both thought that okay, we'll go to. I mean, they had a bet on that one, that whoever says that I am great, the other person should die. Um, is it okay, Prabhu, if I say that now?
Yeah, it's fine, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yeah. So they both had a bet, and they said like, okay, we'll go and ask somebody, and if they say that you are great, then I will die, and if I am great, then you have to die. And they both went to Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj's son itself, and when they said this to Prahlad Maharaj said immediately that his son is not great, the superior is his son only, and I mean that shows that he is equal to everyone, and he is not partial to anybody, and he is not disturbed with any kind of situation. That's how he is. Even though he know that his son had a bet that he will die, but still he said that yes, you are not the superior. Only Sage's son is the superior one, and uh, and that shows that how good he is, and he's not disturbed with any kind of situation. That level of devotee he is.
Mm-hmm.
And the sage's son asked, then he asked like, okay, then can you tell me like who is superior again? He said like, "Yeah, obviously you, because you are the son of my master, and I am actually belong to Rakshasa's family." So he said, then in that case you need to listen to me. Like Prahlad Maharaj asked his servants to take his son and hang him, but he said that okay, don't hang your son. Then he immediately stopped it. That shows that he is not disturbed by any kind of situation. When he was asked to kill his son, that time also he is not disturbed. When he was asked to not to kill his son, even then he is not disturbed. He changed his mind just in 1 second without getting disturbed. I mean, that's how we have to be, and situated equally with everyone, every devotee. That's all. Correct.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, so what happened in the end? You didn't tell us.
I mean, and then actually he asked his servants to hang his son,
Yeah.
but the sage's son asked him,
No.
because I am the superior, you need to listen to me as well. So he
Okay.
said, yes, I can listen to you. So he said, okay, don't hang your son now. So
Okay.
he immediately said, okay, leave him. So
Uh,
that how he is situated, that he always listen to the superior. That's it.
I got
So
you.
he is not disturbed. He is not partial to anybody. He is not disturbed by anything.
It's amazing. I mean, this is why we sing their glories. I mean, we're not anywhere like that level. They have some amazing, amazing capacity, and we really can't match that. But we can all get inspired by it. Obviously, get
Yes,
inspiration from them and
yes,
do our best, especially in Kali Yuga.
Yes.
It's very, very difficult. We don't have the mental or physical strength that they had
Yeah.
at that time, or even not everyone had that. Just these individual personalities that we look up to and learn from.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yeah. I think Gajendra, in his previous life, was I think he was a king and he was a great devotee of Krishna.
Yeah.
So when he was attacked, by the crocodile, he actually remembered the prayers he used to say in his last life. Basically, these Gajendra prayers, it's all about glorifying, praising the Lord, and it talks about attributes and qualities of the Lord, and there's a lot of words of wisdom in there. I mean, some of the things he says, uh, Lord is cause of all causes. He's the observer and witness of everything. He is the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and he talked about. I mean, even demigods and sages cannot fully understand him. Only pure devotees can realize him by the practice of bhakti yoga. And I think you mentioned the importance of seeing everyone equally. Yeah, yeah. I think another thing is you can be having a great life, but death come to us at any time. So I mean, so yeah. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, we should be ready. We should be prepared at all times. It's like they say that we prepare for going on holiday, but when we only go in there for maybe a few weeks or a month or something, we prepare so much. We're packing our bags, but for death, we never prepare. We should always be ready with our bags packed. Always be ready. That if it like comes any moment, we've done what we need to do. So it's fine. Everything's packed. Everything's ready. We're going back. Well, that's fine. But anyway, so that's that. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay. Who else we have? Who would like to go? Chant and be happy, Prabhu. Prem Prakash Prabhu, are you there? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Babaji.
Yeah.
Jai Hare Baba.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Babaji. So I was just thinking of like a lot of discussion happening on the
Prabhu,
significance
your
of.
volume is a little bit low.
Uh, is it better now?
Slightly better, yeah.
Okay. So I was just contemplating on the way we actually supposed to leave our body, and we are never prepared, to be honest. I mean, looking at the Corona times, what we are doing, or what we are going through at the moment, is our that is next doorstep. Basically, we never know that what's going to happen. It's so uncertain in this moment, basically. But the question we need to ask is that: Are we prepared? Are we prepared? What can happen and what's happening to other families and everywhere else? The answer is probably no. So what should we do? I mean, and Gajendra prayers is something which is exemplifying that what we need to keep on praying. We need to chant and we need to pray. That's something which is coming out for me uh, from this pastime. Everyone is coming from a devotee family. I mean, somehow Prabhupada said that we are sleeping devotees basically. So and now we are actually able to chant. That means that we had some we were in touch with devotional service, or we are blessed by Vaishnavas to come in touch with devotional service. And so was Gajendra. Gajendra was Maharaj Indradyuman, as far as I remember. And then he was cursed to become an elephant. So, but he wasn't disturbed himself. He wasn't disturbed what's going to happen, because it was curse. The curse was coming from a great place, Correct me if I'm wrong, Prabhuji. Is it August Muni? Um, Probably given name, otherwise I'm confirmed. But yeah, it's coming from a great place. So he took it as a blessing, and that's what happened basically. Even there's a blessing, or even there's a curse from it is going to turn up to one's good, and he accepted that, and he was
Sorry,
able to remember.
sorry, I can't hear you too well. Maybe you have to
Uh,
phone into you, or maybe it's a problem.
okay, I think it should be much better now, if
That's
that's okay.
much better now. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So yeah, so I was trying to. I don't know if I made the points clearly and if I was audible earlier. So I'll just very quickly revisit the points. It's a Corona time. We all are uncertain of at the moment that when the death gonna come. Basically, we are just living on the mercies that what would happen. We can't go and stop buying groceries. We have to go and buy groceries, and we never know what we are carrying back at home. So we are all living in a very uncertain moment, and to be honest, we are now comparable. We are fighting every day. We are just for the survival and just living on the mercy of the Lord. So so this moment we need to realize that, are we prepared what could happen tomorrow? I'm not going to say what will happen, but are we prepared? Are we still thinking that we are going to live 10 years from now and the things will be fine? We might do so. We will do so rather, but but having that mentality, because what we carry is a subtle body needs to be destroyed. So we need to prepare our minds in such a way that it is always absorbed in Krishna Bhakti. It's always absorbed in at least remembering the pastimes of the Lord. And in the difficult situation, it's most difficult thing to do.
Absolutely.
So, so what happens is that we pray for. We can't really get involved in bhakti. We need to pray, and the chanting is a two. Chanting is the prayer. If we understand that we pray to get liberation, it's not true. We pray to get more service. That is the point of chanting. We pray that Krishna remembers us and gives us more service. We get absorbed in that service that we don't remember anything else. That's the mood. And that's what we need to do, because we wouldn't be able to remember Krishna. We wouldn't be able to pray. We wouldn't be able to chant when the things are really bad in Kali Yuga and this current situation. We wouldn't be able to do so. We pray that Krishna remembers us. So that's what our mood should be. We should engage ourselves all the time in in bhakti process, at least Shravanam, uh, whatever we can do basically, because any part of bhakti is complete. We should, and we should understand that we should listen to Mahamantra. We should have that mood, because this is the Gajendra had a time when he was praying, and it's a time we should be praying as well, because we are as uncertain as we are in this current world at the moment. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We need to be very much prepared.
Right.
That's what my friend said.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, excellent.
Okay.
That's right. I mean, in times of trouble, they say that if you pray in times of trouble, then I was just saying that if you pray in times of happiness, then you know why would troubles come? But I mean, troubles come anyway, don't they? Because, like you say, there's day and night, this duality of life. Troubles come, uh, but yeah, can we be strong? Because our faith is tested, isn't it? In times of trouble, this is it's like a test for us. That when everything's going well, it all seems very easy. But in times when there's turbulence, and that then can we stay strong? That is the point. And then I think that's when our faith is tested. So in other words, our faith should be strong. That in times of trouble, we can be steady. And it's like an airplane. They make it so strong that when there's turbulence, it doesn't fall apart, right?
Right.
It's to stay strong. So I think this is what you're saying, that our faith, we got to let's build our faith quickly and make it strong. So if we do get some trouble, turbulence in life, it doesn't affect us so much. It will affect us to an extent, but not. And they say the bhakti is not linear anyway. It's not straight. It doesn't go in a straight line upwards. It can, because we have different times in our life. Sometimes they're good, sometimes bad. And if your mind is unsettled, then or your body is not well, then healthy body, healthy mind, right? So if the body is not healthy, your mind is not going to be healthy either to serve or to think of Krishna or to chant. So I think if you can, I think then it's the faith that carries you forward, the faith and the conviction that Krishna is going to look after me, he's going to protect me, and I'm going to be able to serve him in Goloka one day. So I think, yeah, faith is very important. Thank you, thank you.
And and there's also urgency, Prabhuji. At this moment, I mean, Krishna creates condition, and otherwise you wouldn't understand. So he puts us into condition. He puts us into different situation that we will understand the urgency.
Yeah,
We might spend thousands of years without understanding the urgency, but when the time comes, we need to understand that this is the urgency. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj said that the Krishna's, I mean, spread of Sankirtan movement can't stop for any reason rather, even if the country is actually under British rule. At that time also it can't stop. So we need to understand that urgency. Leaving aside all our priorities, we need to make a slot. We need to prioritize Krishna in our life. That's very important. If we don't do it, then we are still living on mercy. But yeah, we need that mercy. We need to realize that mercy.
no, we need to give back. Krishna has given us mercy. We need to give back in forms of service, isn't it?
Yeah. Simple example is that you prepare everything, go to airport and don't catch an airplane because you were distracted at a shop, basically buying some food stuff. Happened to me. I missed a plane. I don't want to miss that on the over here. Right. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Very good.
And Praveen Mataji, would you like to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, well, beautifully explained. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that everybody's putting emphasis on art of living, but like Krishna consciousness teaches us art of living and art of dying as well.
Yeah.
So constantly we have to remember Krishna and the firm faith, like you just mentioned about flying. So when we fly, we have full faith in the pilot because we don't think, oh, is the pilot good enough to take us wherever we are going to? So similarly, we need to have full faith in Krishna, and any problems we face in our life is always mercy of Krishna. So we should not get like distressed and feel like Kunti Mata as well. She said, she wants to be in distress all the time so she can remember Krishna. So that's a really good. So every time we are in distress, we have to remember, yes, it's Lord's mercy and what is Lord trying to teach us. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, wonderful.
Thank you.
And Sarveshi Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, it's about Gajendra's moksha.
And
It's
I
about
know you're an expert on this pastime as well.
sorry.
I said, I know you're an expert in this pastime because you gave a class on this once to us.
It's about surrender. This Gajendra's moksha is about surrender.
Yeah.
Like when Gajendra was distressed, suffering, helpless, and fighting with the crocodile, none of the families could help him. They tried, all of them tried to help him, but when nobody could help him, then he just remembered, he said, nobody can help me except Krishna. So then he called out for Krishna. And when I was 5-6 years old, my grandmother told me this story, and she taught me a bhajan about this crocodile as well. He Govindara Kusharanabhata Jivanhare. It was very nice bhajan. I couldn't understand anything that time. But afterward, I realized that it was about Gajendra Moksha. So like Gajendra, he was suffering and trying to get help. So we are suffering as well in this world. His example is Gajendra we are Gajendras as well. We are suffering in this world and distressed all the time, worry about something. we know we have to surrender to Krishna. Because of this Maya, we know sometimes we like to do something and then all of a sudden the Maya gets on to us. But it must be full surrender. So Gajendra had full surrender, and in his previous life, he learned some mantras and uh, some prayers, and he just remembered. So it's very important for us to learn some prayers.
Hare Krishna. Absolutely, yes.
Because another name for Krishna is Uttam Shloka. Uttam Shloka means glorify, we glorify Krishna. And and Gajendra remembered prayers from his past life. So when we leave our body, our mind, intelligence, and conscious go and take another body. So what Krishna does when we get another body, he says in the Bhagavad-Gita that he makes you remember, he makes you forget. So he remembers you, makes you remember all the things you have learned. So very important to be Krishna conscious in this life. So in this life, we can continue from there and Krishna will make us remember. So that's what it was about Gajendra. He remembered what he done in his past life, and that Krishna reminded him. It's all without Krishna's, nobody can do anything. Without his message, nobody can learn anything. So that's the learn. We say we must surrender. We try to surrender. We're surrendering, but we can't do full surrender. But because nobody can help us in this world, actually they help, but not real help. So that's the lesson we learned, that is surrender to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, it's about surrender. When Krishna knows that you totally surrender to him, like Draupadi, then he comes running at the speed of his mind. He will come running God's speed. So yeah, so very important to know some mantras in this life. We do the Maha Mantra, we do the Narasimha prayers, the Narasimha Kavach, and also this Gajendra Moksha. They will always protect us. These mantras, they will always protect us, whether this life or any other life. They're always there for our protection, and Krishna will remind us of that. If he ever comes to that, it will be reminded. And in fact, I've heard that this Gajendra Moksha Stotram, if we recite it, it's 28 verses, and if we can somehow memorize it and recite it when we're having a shower, we have plenty of time. I spend a lot of time in the shower. So if we can memorize it when we're having a bath or a shower, then it's most beneficial for our protection. Reciting the Gajendra Moksha Stotram in water, because Gajendra, he recited this while he was in the water. If we can do this while we are in water, then there's huge potential, potency is there. So yeah, if you can do it, I think that'd be great, just like doing Narasimha Kavach or Narasimha prayer. So wonderful. That is fantastic. And yeah, always see everything as the Lord's mercy, because all these personalities who had problems in Srimad Bhagavatam past times, there's something always has come out good out of it, hasn't it? Even the curses, they have been boons. Radharani was reminding me that the main curse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami, he was cursed, and we got Srimad Bhagavatam out of that. Sukhdev Goswami gave when he recited the Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj. So fantastic, that's fantastic, fantastic realization that curses can become such big boons. So thank you all so much. Next week we'll talk about the glories of Lord Ananta. That's something we know all. I certainly wasn't anyway, didn't understand properly. So I've tried to look into that, the glories of Lord Ananta Shesha. So that's also very nice. We'll look at that next Friday, same time. And Sunday, we got His Holiness Bhakti Prabhav Swami Maharaj coming, and it's going to be a very, very nice class. He's a fantastic Nasi. So we'll look forward to that. And now we'll do a couple of rounds, attentive rounds. And Sureshi Mataji, would you like to start, please? Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasi Gaura Bhakta